Hello, welcome to my live stream. Today is Friday, the 1st of May, and it's 6 o'clock p.m. UK time. There's a message already. Wow. From Safety Dance. I cannot join the live today due to my work schedule, but if you get a chance to talk about recognizing and curbing self-sabotage that occurs when we are beginning to have some success, question mark. Thank you so much. I have been making leaps and bounds in recovery since I started listening to you about 3 weeks ago. Thank you, Didi. Fantastic. Okay, so I will address this. Before that, I just want to introduce myself to those who don't know me. And so I'm a therapist and coach, and I come here on my free time twice a week, every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 p.m. UK time for as long as 2 hours if it's busy and people asking me questions to address anything to do with mental health, therapy, psychology, human behavior, emotional intelligence, mindset, mindfulness, and all of those things that can really enhance our quality of life from the inside out. And so the way I start my live streams are always by reading and commenting on some of my own posts. And eventually, when people start to gather around on that channel, then I get questions and then I address those questions directly and I try my best to give you some actionable recommendations. So here I've got actually a request already, so we can talk about this. I'm not sure how to address this because the reason why I always ask people to ask me the questions during the live streams is that we can interact and I can get more information from them. So I'm going to try my best to say something based on what I have. But if it's static, there's only so much that I can say about it because there's no, yeah, it can be anything. Um, but let's try anyway. So let me read the question again from Safety Dance. Could you talk about recognizing and curbing self-sabotage that occurs when we are beginning to have some success? So if it is too vague, I'm sorry, but it's just too vague. What sort of success and how is it happening? This is what I need to know. I'm trying my best to be specific with you guys, to give you some recommendations that you can use in your life directly, as opposed to giving you some big generic things that are not really generally useful. I can talk about self sabotage, and I can tell you that self sabotage are always systems that we have put into place to protect ourselves. And so, even though they come across as problematic originally, they're always meant to look after ourselves. Um, and so, if you say that you have self sabotage as you are coming closer to success, to me, it means that there's a part of you that believes that success is not available to you. Um, maybe lack of self esteem, confidence. You believe that the good things in life are not available to you. Or maybe, so there could be all sort of reasons. Maybe when you had good things, bad things also came along with them. Um, or maybe you just never had them. And so, because of that, your mind is now thinking, what is success? Maybe it's dangerous, maybe it's going to harm you. And so, I'm going to do my best to keep yourself away from it. And it's going to elicit all sort of clever ways to keep you away from success. So, you're going to feel certain feelings, you're going to think certain thoughts, so that you never get too close to success. Um, so, how do you recognize uh, the self sabotage? It's very simple. If you want to do something, and if you can't do it, and if it's a pattern, if it's been affecting your life because you're thinking about it a lot, and you can't still do anything about it, then you know that this is it. How do you curb it? By giving me more details. But I need to understand what are the patterns so that we can tackle it directly and precisely, right? But just based on what you say, at a general level, self-sabotage, how do we deal with that? By realizing first that it's not a problem per se. It has become a problem. It was originally there to to look after us. And so if we can look at it from that perspective, already we feel a bit lighter because we don't think what's wrong with me. Instead, we're thinking, what happened to me? Why did my mind come up with that? And this is already much more productive. Um, so if you can find out, if you were there, we could talk about it. Maybe we can talk about it next week more precisely. But whatever that it is, we have some fears. So you could have a fear of failure, a fear of being rejected, a fear of being seen, a fear of exposing yourself to new stuff. Whatever fear it is, this is what we want to address. To find out what it is, you want to basically find a way to locate the thoughts associated with those moments when you feel overwhelmed and you can't do that thing. You can't take that action that will get you closer to success. And so, yes, um, curbing the self-sabotage is more about understanding why you had the system and then realizing that you don't need this anymore. All the systems that we have, and we can call them anxiety, depression, overthinking, self-sabotage, anger, any of those things and more, um, they're not to be seen as a problem. They are to be understood as a system and then realize that we no longer need that system anymore. And this is what healing and growth is about. Um, I hope it helps. Safety dance. If you can put the comment even after when you catch up with the video, and then we can always continue that conversation. Um, and so that was for safety dance. What I'm going to do, I'm going to then resume what I normally do, which is to read and comment on my own post until I have some new questions from you guys. And so the first post goes like this. You are worthy by virtue of your existence, not by virtue of your performance. For some people, of course, you will never be enough. Don't worry about them. Your worth is yours for you to cherish and be aware of, not something that you have to prove, justify, defend, or try to sell to anyone. And so this is basically one of the reasons we suffer is that we believe that our worth is to be explained, to be earned. And it's not like that. We are born worthy. Uh, we should be loved and accepted and tolerated and embraced just for who we are without having to do anything about it. This is what worthiness is about. But because we live in a conditional society, we've been told that you are only lovable, you're only worthy if you behave in a certain way, if you do certain things, if you prove yourself to us. And because of that, now we are going to seek all of our life, we're going to go on the pursuit of demonstrating to everyone that we are worthy enough. But if you could remember that we're all worthy just by virtue of being here, then it's a big shift to do. It's not a simple one to make, but then everything becomes much easier and simpler for us. Also, just so you know, I'm having some problems with my mic at the moment, so I'm doing everything directly through the mic of the phone. So I hope that you can hear me well. If you have any sound problems, let me know. But hopefully there will be none because I wouldn't know what else to do anyway if there was not a good sound. Um, okay, next post goes like this. A memory is not a recollection of an event from the past. It is a reconstruction of an event based on the emotional association that you have of it. In other words, you are not defined by your past. The state of your nervous system defines your past each time that you think of it. So this is a very revolutionary understanding of the mind and memories. We don't remember things as they were. We remember it. We remember the last time we played it. So this is what we understand through neuroscience. We never remember exactly a past memory. We only remember the last time we played. So basically, each time we're reconstructing that thought based on how we feel about that event. So it's changing a bit more in different capacities each single time. Um, so basically, this is why when people say you can't change your past, I disagree with them. I believe that we can change our past. because our past is not fixed. It's only an idea. There's not a place called the past that we can ever go back to. What we reminisce of the past is our interpretation of it based on how we feel about ourselves in this moment in our lives. And so if we can change how we see ourselves and how we feel, now the experience of the past is going to be different. And this is how we change our past, and this is how we heal. When we address trauma, anything related to the past, we never return to the past. We address how we see ourselves in that past. We address our relationship with the past. And so, for anyone who has healed, they will tell you that I still remember everything, but it doesn't hurt me anymore because now I can see it from a different perspective. And so, in that way, in that sense, the past has changed. And those are things that we are now able to demonstrate again using neuroscience, because now we have machines that can see what is happening in the brain as we are going through different mental and emotional states. And so, yeah, memories are not fixed. They are not a recollection. The reconstruction that we make every time we think about the past based on whatever emotional energy we're still holding in our nervous system in regards to those thoughts. Um, Next post, similar about the past, and it goes like this. You don't have to forget the past. You just have to stop letting it hurt you. Healing is not about forgetting what happened to you. It is about remembering it differently. So this is precisely what I just said, but in a different way. And for many of you, that could be something that can be very helpful as far as your healing journey is concerned. We don't need to return to the past. We don't need to confront the trauma from the past. We just need to upgrade how we see ourselves today as an adult in this life. Okay, next post. Next post. Money doesn't buy happiness is a mantra that was created to condition poor people to hate money and stay poor. Money literally buys happiness. It may not fix all of your problems, it may not give you your purpose in life, but it does buy happiness. And so a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of things that we say are just saying that are designed to keep people in a loop. So whenever we say something, whenever we repeat something, whenever we think something, we are literally conditioning ourselves. We are self-hypnotizing. So whenever people say money doesn't buy happiness, money doesn't buy happiness, no money doesn't buy happiness, then there's a part of us that's going to reinforce that belief that money is bad, money is the root of all evil, and that's how many of us are struggling with scarcity and the inability to break free from it, because we are self-hypnotizing into hating money, into having a very, very bad relationship with it, and so we're going to stay in our financial struggle all of our life as long as we keep saying these things to ourselves. So now, of course, some people are going to try to rationalize this and say, yeah, but it's not what I mean. And I know what you mean, and I explain it in my video. It's not going to change all of your problems. It's going to fix everything. It's not going to address your mental health problems. It's not going to give you a meaning in your life. However, it will absolutely buy you some level of happiness, some moments, some experiences, some things that will make you feel safer, that will make you feel more at peace, that will make you feel more joyful. And all those things are important into our happiness experience. So I hope it makes sense. If you have any question about it, do ask me. Next post. Something to do with narcissist and CPTSD. And it goes like this. Long-term exposure to narcissistic abuse in adulthood causes lasting structural brain changes associated with CPTSD. If you are coming out of such a relationship, please seek help. Until you heal from this, your nervous system will still be in that relationship and it will keep suffering from it. So essentially, this is a conversation that we don't have, but even in adulthood, people who live with someone who is narcissistic may develop CPTSD as a direct result of this over time. If we are constantly being put down, if we are constantly being belittled, if we are constantly feeling frustrated but unable to speak out our truth over time, that will affect the structure of our brain in the same way as someone would go through CPTSD in childhood with an abusive family, for instance. And so, yeah, something that I think at some point a lot of people will start to talk about. Next post. People don't take advantage of others. A specific category of people take advantage of another specific category of people if they let them. As a child, you didn't have a choice. As an adult, you do. So this is the most important aspect. What I'm trying to say here is that we don't suffer from people. We suffer from our inability to spot people and to not allow them into our space. However, it's important to highlight that as a child, we never chose that. This is for adults. As a grown-up, we need to remind ourselves that we're no longer a child. If we suffer from this, if we still allow and attract and invite toxic people into our lives, it's because in those moments we're still the child. And we're still believing that there's nothing else we can do, and this is what happens to us. This is what we deserve. But if we could find a way to see the same situation from the adult's point, then we wouldn't let that happen. We just say, aha, you stay where you are, keep away from my life, bye bye. I have one comment from Genji. Hello, Didi, how are you today? I'm okay, thank you for asking. I'm a little bit tired. I've been working a lot and I haven't slept a lot. So I don't know how it's going to affect my thinking process today, but I'm going to do my best to complete the live stream. I'm here now. So hopefully I'll be good enough to function and to think about solutions for you guys. But I may have some hiccup because I know that I haven't slept as much as I should because of my work, and when I don't sleep enough, again because of my conditions, it does make a huge difference into the way I process thought. Um, so yeah. But having said that, I'm happy because I've done a great work lately. I'm very proud of myself, and yeah, this is how it goes sometimes. Um, how about you, Genji? I've been thinking about you. Are we going to talk about your dad today or not? I remember our last conversation. Um, and yeah. Again, if you feel like talking about your dad, please by any means do. I will never shut you down. I'm just always responding to you in the most appropriate way I deem to be at the time. First, last. Here at the beginning, this time, if you could tell the story of your turnaround. Okay, fair enough. You've got me. So let me have a sip of coffee. That'll be. I do my best. Again, based on how I feel. Okay, so very often people ask me about when did you change because they understand that I have a lot of baggage and had a very difficult start in life, but yet I have changed an awful lot positively, and so I always reply that it's never just one instance. Everything about us is always the continuation of everything that happened to us up to this point. But it's true that there are some aha moments, and generally speaking, because I spoke about it many times already, I need to make sure that I'm in the right state, but I have enough time to cover this. So I always say, come back next time when I start the live, not at the end of it, so that I'm more relaxed and focused to maybe try to tell a slightly enhanced version, as in, yeah, a better story, a more flowy one than the previous ones. So let's get started. I had a very difficult childhood because, first and foremost, I didn't know that, but I was always neurodivergent. So I was always different. But also, I grew up in France, and back in the 70s, everyone was racist. Um, and also, we are very, at the start of my life, we were very poor, and it was very visible. And so I was in a school where everyone was white and rich and beautiful, and smart and nice, and were happy. And I really stood out, me and my brother. And because of that, I was bullied an awful lot by all the kids. And on top of that, because of my neurodivergence, um, things were much more also difficult for me to process. But also at home, my mum had problems as well. And so we had a lot of clashes, um, like mega clashes, like very, very bad. And there are times where I had to leave home. And from as early as when I was 12 years old, I remember having to go outside and spend nights or days outside because I was not allowed, or I was too, I didn't want to be home. Um, and so that affected my mental health, that affected my encounters with different people and the things that I did. I ended up addicted to class A drugs, alcoholic, and also intermittently homeless, um, doing all sort of things to survive at a very young age and go through my own mental health struggles. And so basically, yeah, it was a lot to take on. And even my brother, I had problems with him as well, because this is the family dynamic. You have the problematic child, the black sheep, and the other one, or the other ones. In that case, it was only him. But anyway, so I had a lot of things to contend with, and my life went worse and worse and worse because I was exposed to a lot of uh, other people like me, all the black sheep, all the underdogs, all the kids who were unloved and abused, um, and were all over the place, and were all drug addicts, and and so yeah, I don't know how to say this. Yeah, I was constantly angry. I was constantly depressed. I was constantly anxious, terrified, scared, paranoid, panic attacks, constantly, and any type of anxiety and overthinking, very super insecure, very super reactive, aggressive, stupid, petty, mean. I was all of those things and more. And I was constantly high or drunk or hungover. I didn't have one single day up to the age of 38 where I was not either drunk, hungover, or high. And I tried to unalive myself many, many times, especially uh, around my 20s, before and right after. And all of those experiences were terribly intense, and it was relentless. It was nonstop. I went through bouts of depression that lasted months or even years, and it was super dark. I had psychosis, hallucination. I think I've experienced pretty much so many things without having necessarily to be labeled by them. But it's like the way that I describe it is like me having access to a shit buffet of all the mental health imbalances that exist. I had a tester of everything. But my what I'm trying to say here is that the person that I blamed the most for all of those things was my mum. My dad was an enabler, and so he kind of um, was not so much into my resentment mind, but my mum was. I always wanted to love her. I wanted to understand her. I knew that she was different, but she treated me very, very badly. And so, because of that, I blamed all of those suffering, constant, non-stop, relentless suffering. I blamed it on her. And so I came to London in 1997 as a musician. I wanted to become a rock star. I didn't do it for the love of music. I did it because I wanted to prove anyone back in France that I was better than them, so that I could regret being so shitty to me, so horrible to me. So I came from a place of ego and insecurity and revenge, not from a place of love, wanting to create something. But anyway, because I was still addicted and angry and anxious and depressed, um, I didn't make it in the music industry. But all those years, I've been thinking about my mum, and there was love and hatred in the same measure, because I believe that everything about my life was because of her, all the suffering. Um, it was bad enough being bullied by, like horribly by other kids at school and by my own brother at home. But my mum, she was really, really, she, I believe that she is narcissist on the top of bipolar and BPD. And she may have many conditions we will never really know. Uh, but just based on my understanding of mental health, I can see that now. And so in 2008, at that point, I was living with my husband already. I was still alcoholic. I was still angry, and I was still all over the place. And we've been together at that point for 3 years together. And my husband believed then that he was going to be unalived by me because of my explosive, irrational state that was happening every night, all the time. For nothing and everything, I will explode. I will get into a state of rage. I will come across as mad, and I'll be aggressive as well. So he told all his friends, and he genuinely believed that I would unalive him at some point. And somehow we stuck together for 3 years. But anyway, I was living with him despite us fighting every day. We're together. And just so you know, now we're still together. We've been together for 21 years, and things have changed drastically, radically better. But back then, it was still difficult. But then I had a phone call in 2008, and my brother, my estranged brother, told me that our mum tried to unalive herself twice. She was going through a cancer that was affecting her mental health, and she basically slashed her wrist and took some pills. And she told him that she wanted me to come and look after her for her cancer remission. Otherwise, she would finish what she has started. And so there's a part of me that felt that it was something that I had to do. It was something that I was waiting for. It was my opportunity to somehow fix our relationship. And so I didn't hesitate. I took the first Eurostar to Paris. I left everything, and then I went to Paris where she lives with my brother. She lives in the basement. They have a house. She's at the base. No, it's not the basement. The ground floor. She's on the ground floor, and my brother has the two upper floors with his family. And I spent, I can't remember, I can never remember, 6 or 9 months there looking after my mum. I was the full-time carer. And I was not only looking after her for her cancer, but also for her mental health. There are times where she couldn't remember who she was. She wouldn't remember who I am. She would shout at me, freak out, seeing me. And I would be there to look after her, to clean her, to wash her stuff, to feed her, to give her her medication. Obviously, anyone who had to do that is never easy. No one prepares you to do that, but I had to do it, and and so I did it. But it was particularly difficult because not only my mum would lose it every now and then, but also I was back into that house that I left so many years ago. And on the top of that, my brother married a wife that kind of emulated our mum. This is what we do. And so she didn't like me, and she made it hard on me as well. She was going to call the cops on me. Um, and so I was under so much stress when I started to lose my hair. Um, I was still drinking and also having some whatever madness episodes in the ground floor with my mum, but I could let it out of my chest. But eventually, we made it. And after a few months, she went into remission. She started to think clearly. She started to remember things. She started to be more herself, and her cancer went into remission. And so I came back to London, and a week after or so, I had a call from her. And she said to me, "By the way, thank you for saving my life." And in that moment, decades of hurt, suffering, anger, hatred, self hatred just vanished. I felt lighter on the spot. And I went teetotal the following day. I stopped everything, and it was so easy. Um, in that moment, I had a huge shift because I had the thing that I have been wanting all my life. All that I ever wanted was a praise from my mum. That's it. And it took me until the age of 39 to get it. But I did get it. And in that moment, everything changed. My whole body, my whole state, my whole emotional experience, everything changed. Um, and so from that point onward, my husband recommended me to change profession and to look after myself. And so I became a personal trainer on his recommendation. I learned how to look after my body. And eventually I specialized in strength and conditioning for sport performance. And I became quite good. I look after some world-class athletes. Um, but then after that, I learned about the mind because I was looking after those athletes. I found out that there's something called mindset, so I explored it, and then I decided to become a mindset coach for sport people. But then I realized that mindset was so much bigger than just sport performance. And so at some point, I decided to open my mindset practice after being obsessed and reading tons of books about it and coming up with some systems related to my own experience. But then I was still missing something. I was missing an understanding of psychology and the subconscious mind. And so I went in that direction. I came across Marisa Peer. I learned about her system. And again, I explored uh, all of those notions of principles of psychology. And I have now been a therapist for 9 years doing this. Um, and so everything about my life has been a continuation of everything that happened before, like for all of us. And it was always meant to happen. And the reason I'm saying this is that we don't want to believe that we need some magic moments in our life for things to change. There are magic moments. But for us to embrace those magic moments, we need every single other moment before them. We need to be ready for that. We need to have been through the dark stuff. We need to have been through all of those disempowered state. And we need to have had some contrast so that when those magic moments are presenting themselves to us, then we are ready for them. I could have said no to my brother on the phone. I could have told him to F off at that point when he called me. But my first impulse, my first intuition was a resounding yes. I had to. There was just no possible alternative to that. But I believe that this is on the back of everything that I've been through. And so if you're going through whatever you're going through, know that everything that you're going through is part of the process. It's part of the journey. And there will be some moments of acceleration, some moments of um, epiphanies where you're going to feel very, very different. But it is still a part of the process that that implies that every single step is as important as the other step, not just the aha moment. Even the terrible moments, even the moments where nothing seems to happen, they're all part of a story. When we look back uh, in hindsight, it's very easy to realize this. But until we get there, we really believe that I must wait for I must wait for a miracle, for something special. We don't wait for things. Things just happen when and if we are ready. So That's it. That was my little story. This was for um, first last. um, what do you think of it? Again, there are many different ways to tell a story. So if you want to ask me, I can explore different aspects of it. But I think those are the big lines. Um, Jamie Blue Eyes from God said hi. Hello, Jamie. Genji, I completely understand. I'm proud for you and glad you got some work done. Okay, thank you. Genji, haha, I have been working on more positive thinking since yesterday. Fantastic. I showed my husband our conversation. Oh, yes. And we had a bit of a laugh. He's happy you can help me the way I do. Fantastic. It's not easy because, again, I remember that you have BPD and he's on the spectrum of autism. It's something that I experience every day within my own marriage. And so it's not unilateral. It's really a two person's job, and there's work to be done from each side of the equation. Genji, I'm feeling better today. I will choose the better thoughts and not talk or think of my father. Okay, fantastic. The main thing is to realize why there's still a part of you that believes that whatever your dad says or think or believe is somehow important. It isn't. This is what we want to address, that belief. Why is he important? He's not. Not anymore. Pumpkin Puff. Hi Didi, happy Friday. How are you feeling today? I'm okay. So I was explaining just before how I haven't slept that much because I've had a lot of work, and because of that, my sleep has been affected. But I'm here, showing up for you guys, and I will do my best to be here up till 8 o'clock if there are enough people who want me to stay here up till 8 o'clock. Um, but yes, I'm happy to be here. Spiraxis, much love to you. Thank you for all the vids. They've helped. So glad to catch a stream. Fantastic. Is there anything you'd like to talk about? Spiraxis? Pumpkin Puff. Wow, what a story. You have been through so much and grew so much for it. Thank you. Um, yes, I mean, the reality is that there's so much things about my story, so much horror, so much dark stuff. And I don't think about them most of the time because I generally, it's like I have had many different lives. And the life that I'm having now has nothing to do with all the other lives that I've been through in the past. But sometimes, if I remember some details, some stuff were really horrible and really not normal at all. But when you don't know anything else, this is your normal. And again, now as a therapist, because I see all sort of people from different background and different with different history and baggage, I can really see how there's no such thing as normal, but we all believe that whatever we go through is normal because that's all that we know. But yeah, a lot of things that I've been through, when I think about it, I'm like, gosh, who's that guy? I can't believe that this happened to me. And it makes me feel very wrong because now I can see it from different perspective. I don't consider this as normal anymore. Uh, Far from it. Um, but sometimes I do go back there because of my clients. When I look after cases that may be a little bit different or new to me, I often meditate and go back to where I was to remember how it felt for me then. And that reminds me how they are probably feeling about themselves now. And that helps me understand them at an emotional level. And I believe that's one of the reasons why I have a high rate of success with my clients. Because I can connect with them emotionally. I can remember how it feels. And that makes a whole difference in the whole world. Um, Mental health is cognitive and emotional. And what we learn about it is the cognitive part, the psychology. But what no one teaches you is how it feels. And because our mind is 95% emotional, it makes a huge difference if we can tap into those emotions and feelings. Um, First, last, that is a wonderful story and very relatable. Thank you for telling it. Thank you for asking. And I'm especially happy for your healing of your mother wound and the love of your husband. Okay. Yes, so I haven't mentioned it, but I have heard from my mother wound, as in, I genuinely love her now. We speak on the phone regularly since 2009, and there was still a process, um, and it has still evolved a lot. But I always tell her how much I love her now, how much I wouldn't change anything for the world. I genuinely believe that. I fully accepted her. I fully get her. I have forgiven both of us, and she has changed as a result of this as well. Um, I tell her in French, in Chinese, in English that I love her, and that I'm genuinely proud of having someone like her as my mom, in spite of everything. Um, and so I am very happy that I'm one of those exceptions. I know that it's exceptional, exceptions of people who are able to genuinely, truly, fully, deeply, not only forgive, but love the people who hurt them. Um, and it's a journey that I try my best to get people to. And I understand that not everyone will get there, and not everyone has to. We're all different. But for me, it happened. And I'm so thankful and grateful. Thanks to that, genuinely, my life every single day is simple and easy, and it's complete. I don't need much. I have become a very simple man because I'm aware of all the things that I have achieved already, but are invisible to everyone else, but means everything to me. Um, Genji, everything you said is exactly the reason I trust you so wholeheartedly. Okay, thank you, Genji. I've been through a lot, but you always remind me that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, um, yes, yes. No matter how bad we think that we are, no matter how long we've been in that state, no matter how much we suffer and how much everyone seems to be against us and everything is a problem, life is change. And so everything is possible. Again, nothing is guaranteed, but everything is possible. Everything changes in some capacity every single day. And so it's possible for everyone. If it happened to me, again, that's why I'm not going to go through much details. I've spoken enough about me today. But if you knew my state, you wouldn't believe it. And you wouldn't believe that I've changed. And you wouldn't believe that I've changed so much. It's really, really, really possible. Um, Again, as a therapist, I keep regularly, because of my profession, speaking to people who had all sort of very traumatic and horrible past. Um, but how can I say that? Um, it still touches me because I have developed empathy for others. I've been able to tap into that. I repressed that in me because of my own trauma. But it's something that I have redeveloped. And but still, despite all the horror, I know that there's hope for everyone. Some people will not make it, but the hope is still there for the vast, vast majority of us. Pumpkin Puff, I loved getting to hear about your life. Thank you, Pumpkin Puff. Ask me. Who are you? Thank you, Didi, for your openness and kindness. Glad you shared. Thank you. Rachel Gannon, hi, I am so happy I caught this live. I really appreciate your content, and it's so amazing to hear your story. I need to look more into this mental and mind training. You speak a little more on that. What do you mean? What mind training are you referring to? I am a therapist, so it's not like there's a book or a system or protocol that everyone should be learning. It's more about understanding how our mind works, and because we're all vastly intricate and different, it's going to be different for every single one of us. Um, Now, if you have something that you want to talk about, this is what I'm here for. If you want to understand some aspect of yourself, if you want to address some patterns of behaviors that are problematic to you, if you're struggling with some stuff like anxiety, depression, addiction, or anger, or any of those things and more, we can talk about it. This is what I'm here for. But there's not like one magic bullet, one magic system that everyone should learn. We should all learn about growth mindset and emotional intelligence, and we should have all a level of self-awareness about how the mind works and why we are the way we are. This is what I'm doing here, and so this is what I'm talking about. Um, I'm not referring to any kind of mind training. I was talking about my own experience through my uh, trials and tribulations. I've learned about those things from my own experience. Um, and I'm obsessed with that. I have ADHD, so I hyperfocus, and I have been obsessed with anything to do with therapy and mental health and psychology before I even started to be in the profession. And so that allows me to have a very good understanding of the mind as far as being practical is concerned. Right? Um, that's why I'm here. So I'm not referring to any specific system. I was talking about how I started to fill up the puzzle of the mystery of the mind and humans and the nature of reality over time. And so, if you have any questions you'd like to ask me, I'm happy to explore those questions with you. Um, Jiki, hello. How has your day been? My day has been good. So again, I'm a bit tired. I've been working a lot recently, but I'm very proud of myself because I came with very good results, and so I'm happy. Um, I'm surprised that my brain is still working so well. Generally, when I don't sleep enough, this really, really affects my ability to think. Um, but so far, so good. So let's hope I have enough brain juice to keep going through that live stream today. But I'm happy. I'm very happy. Genji, I remember when we first met, I was in a rough place, but now I have ways to cope with my BPD and depression. I've learned how to understand viewpoints outside of my own, even strengthen my marriage. Fantastic. Well done, you, Genji. It's really important for me to remember the growth is there even when it's hard to see at once. Yes, sometimes we're so busy wanting to be heard that we're not aware of the progress that we have already done. I see this with a lot of my clients. Some of my clients, we have sessions, and then the following one, I ask them, "So how are you doing?" And they say, "Not so good." So I ask them, "Tell me about your week. Tell me about how you felt." They tell me about everything, and then I compare notes with the previous week. And they're like, gosh, I changed. I didn't realize this. I've taken those things for granted already. But if I can remember where I was, if only a week ago, I can realize, gosh. And now they're happy because they've just changed the way they look at themselves, as opposed to, I want to heal, I want to heal. I'm not there yet. It's not enough. Oh. And so and that can be a huge real problem for people who are working on the healing journey. Thank you for the little heart. Who are you? I'm so proud of you. The sentence about forgiving and loving people who hurt you resonates. And it is true that it is rare. I myself am working on it. Okay, very good. If you can do this, it's fantastic. If you can't, it's also okay. It's very important to realize that not all of us will be able to forgive. And it's fine. We don't have to forgive. People who tell others that we must forgive, it's for you, it's not for them. They don't understand what we're going through. The lack of empathy. Um, And it's true, forgiveness is right. But again, not everyone is able to do this. And we must accept this. We don't know what they've been through. If it was so easy to forgive or to heal or to be happy, everyone would be doing this. And it's not like that. Um, John Constantine, you look a little bit tired, brother. Do you rest? I am tired. So I mentioned it many times. I am tired indeed because I haven't slept that much. I worked a lot. But it's okay because I want to show up for people who need me. So I make sure that people know that I'm here every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 p.m. UK time, and I do my best to help anyone who has problems. If I'm really, really unwell, sick, or tired, I will just say, you know what, guys, I'll talk to you next week. But I'm able to do this. So I'm okay. I'm happy with that. I will sleep tonight. I sleep better tonight, so it's all good. Sometimes it happens. It's life. Who are you? A friend of mine is getting worse and worse mentally. The one that told about suicidal thoughts that week and his destructive behavior. is not only towards himself anymore, but are impacting ... Genji, I was a horrible person. I can understand that feeling. I was thinking yesterday about how it feels like you are unfixable, but it's not fixing yourself. It seems more like changing mindset. Yes. So your mindset is going to change as you heal. We have a mindset, but we also have a heart set. And if anything, our mindset is determined by our heart set. In other words, it's very important to change the way we think. But we need to realize that the way we think is the result of how we feel, first and foremost. This is why in therapy we address emotions, feelings, we address our subconscious mind. Um, and, and the way that I do it is that when I look after people, we address any emotional blocks, any emotional subconscious triggers, first and foremost. But then, once we've done that, now we can address the cognitive part of it. We address the mindset afterward. Um, we can't have a growth mindset. We can't have a positive mindset. We can't have a creator's mindset if we're still suffering from depression or anxiety. It's not possible. Um, this is why when people call out others for having a victim mindset, it's not a nice thing to do. Victim mindset is a thing, and we can talk about it, but there are ways to talk about it. No one chooses to have a victim mindset. We inherit from a victim mindset because of our environment and upbringing and emotional state. That's it. So the first thing to address really is all of those emotional baggage that we have. And then once we've done that, we can then upgrade the mindset. Jiki, I had a really bad nightmares last night. Thankfully, I got 6 hours of sleep. So auditory hallucinations are almost gone now, and I was able to speak again with people without paranoia. Okay, I remember our conversation. Okay, but what was creepy was I had such a severe sleep paralysis nightmare. Okay, I fell asleep on my stomach, and the dream started same position, my room, and I felt strangled as someone pushed my back. Okay, I'm sorry to hear this. I know that you have conditions, and I know that you're working on yourself. So the best thing that I can say is keep working on yourself, keep doing your best, and hopefully things will start to get better. I have systems that could help you. I utilize hypnosis and regression to address problems from the subconscious mind. Aside of that, there's not much that I can help you with within those capacities. We can talk about it, you can share how you feel. It's absolutely a good thing to do. But know that everything that you talk about, your inability to sleep and your night terrors, all those things are symptoms of your problems. They're not even the problem. And so just keep doing what you're doing already, which is to focus on addressing your CPTSD, addressing whatever conditions that you have to address. But we did talk about lifestyle 2 days ago. We did talk about other aspects of your life that you can address. And so, are you aware of your nutrition? Are you aware of your moving slash exercising daily routine? Are you aware about going out, spending time in nature? Are you aware about socializing, speaking to people? Are you aware about doing things that make you happy? Are you aware about practicing mindfulness and meditation? Are you aware about all of those things? Those are the things that you can do. They're not going to change your life just like that, but they add up. Everything adds up to something. So it's about doing what you can at this point in time. And so if you are still struggling with whatever conditions you are dealing with, and if you still can't sleep, I would suggest to you do the other stuff. We talked about the butterfly hug 2 days ago. Did you try it? Did you try to do the thing that I was suggesting you when you are sleeping, and instead of thinking I want to sleep, um, maybe think, you know what, I'm just going to relax and see what happens. Change your prerogative, your mental goal. Instead of trying to sleep or whatever that happens in your mind, just do your best, maybe to relax as best as you can. I know that it's not easy. I don't know if you have schizophrenia. I don't know if you have uh, any other conditions. Um, but just based on what we have shared so far, I'd say find out what you can do and do your best to do those things. And over time, you may start to feel slightly better, and that will maybe help you do other things to um, to speed up your whole recovery eventually. GK. Rachel Gannon, I thought you mentioned some mental training for athletes. Ah, okay, we talked about mindset. So basically, it's about understanding. So again, it's also different for every single person. So if you are an athlete and you have questions about how to be better at what you do, tell me about what are your limitations, and then we can address this. Um, yes, there are some mindset protocols for athletes. There are a lot of them. So again, it depends on your goals, it depends on your limitations and problems and priorities, and the sort of sport that you do, at which level you are doing it. So if you want, we can talk about this. Yes. Um, Sorry, I must have misheard. No, you've heard. But it's just that I talk about so many different things. I'm not sure what you were talking about. So then at some point I did talk about mindset for sport performance. So yes, it is a thing. And we can talk about this if you want. I must have misheard. I'm dealing with ADHD, anxiety, PTSD, and so I definitely struggle sometimes. Thank you for clarifying. It's okay. I have ADHD and CPTSD myself. So I totally get it. And again, so if you want to talk about anything to do with sport performance or any of your conditions, we can. Cheeky. And then I was same position again in room, still dreaming, thinking with a terrible nightmares. Pumpkin Puff. I've been really stressed with chores. Everything takes so long and so much energy. But I've been listening to Michael Jackson, and I think that might be some good cleaning energy. Yes, fantastic. Michael Jackson, everyone is loving him now, and I love that. Finally, he's getting some justice. We're realizing that he was never the bad guy. We're realizing that he was one of us, neurodivergent, who was trying to actually save the kids from those horrible people. But because they are horrible, they basically made everyone believe that he was doing what they are doing. And now we're seeing the truth. To me, it's like Jesus. Michael Jackson is a modern day Jesus. He's been crucified. And now we're realizing that he was always in the right, and he's loved not only because of his heart, but because he's a humanitarian. I was reading a comment about people saying, why do people don't like Beyonce as much as Michael Jackson? And that's the difference. Because Beyonce, she's super capitalist. Whereas Michael Jackson, he cares about people. He cares about kids. He cares about the planet, about the environment. He cares about injustice. He cared about Palestine. We believe that now he's been assassinated and shut down and called PDF files because people wanted to shut him because he was going to start to talk about Palestine. And so that really highlights it's perfect timing. We're seeing so much truth now. We're realizing we've been lied to so much by everyone all of our life. But now we're able to listen to intuition and to feel that now it all makes sense. It was all a bunch of lies. And Michael Jackson, amazing. Um, so yes, I love Michael Jackson. Yeah. I'm so happy that the new generations are seeing the truth now. There still may be some people who still think that he was an abuser, and if this is what they think, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the majority of people are changing the viewpoint. Cheeky. Then I walk into living room and a shadow human-ish figure came to me and strangled me. It was creepy. Yeah, yeah. I'm so sorry to hear. Who are you? His whole social circle, including me, I can't deal with liars well. He's been lying more and more and hiding and breaking promises towards me, at least. I am very worried about him and also mad, distrustful. I am aware this is his behavior because he is ill and try not to let it affect me, but it's getting difficult. I am the only person he truly talks to when he does decide to open up rarely, and I don't know how to help slash keep being there. So do what you can. You don't have to help others. You help them if you can help them. So listen to how you feel. Some of us, we can help others, and it's a great thing to do. But if we can't, and we try to force ourselves to help others even though we can't, now we're going to hurt ourselves and hurt them because we don't have the ability to help them. So our attempts may come from a good place, but it's not going to be positive. And so accept that you may be able to help that person, but also you may not be able. And the one most important thing that matters is how you feel about yourself. If you feel that he is mad, disrespectful, that he's lying, that he's annoying you, if it's too much for you, don't do it. You don't have to do it. It's not your job. It's not your responsibility to make others happy. Your responsibility is to look after yourself first and foremost. And then, once you are in a good place, that's how we radiate goodness and we help others. We can only give what we own. And so you can't give something that you haven't got for yourself. So give yourself some love, give yourself some care, give yourself some attention, be in a good place, feel good about yourself. And then, as a result of that, if and when you can talk to that person, help them, do it. But if you can't, prioritize yourself. Tell them, I'm sorry, I love you, but I've got my own baggage. And so I wish you the best. But at this point in time, there's not much I can do. Um, can you see this? Who are you? Sometimes we're trying too hard to fit many things together that were never meant to fit. We must realize that we must accept that we can't have everything that we want right here, right now. Sometimes we can have what we want, sometimes we can have more, but very often we can't have everything. So we must accept this is it. What can I do for him or her at this point in time? Can I do something? Yes, let's do it. Or can I do something? It's hard. You know what? Maybe not. For now, Pumpkin Puff, I wish you a good rest later. So sorry you're tired, but I'm glad you're here. Okay, don't be sorry, guys. When I'm sharing with you when I'm tired, it's not it's not it's really I'm just being honest and transparent. But not everything is drama and tragedy and defeat and suffering. Not at all. It's normal sometimes to be tired. It's normal sometimes to be low. It's normal sometimes to be scared and to be doubtful. But they're only moments, and it's okay. Um, if I was telling you I've been suffering for 3 days, I haven't stopped thinking about that, now that'd be a problem, right? But I'm only showing you a moment. I'm just being honest. And I believe that we should really be open about this and take, again, the tragedy and the drama away from those things. It's okay. It happens. Because in the same breath, I told you I'm tired because I've worked a lot and I'm so happy about it. But the majority of you, and I know that it come from a good place, but instead of focusing on the I'm tired, but I'm happy because I've done a good work, you're just focusing on tired. I'm sorry that you're tired. Don't be sorry. I'm happy that I'm tired because it's happy fatigue connected to positive results that I'm proud of within my work with some people. And so it's a positive, right? I do appreciate where you're coming from, all of you guys, but I just want you to notice that. Why, out of everything that I said, you're only noticing the negative one? That's because maybe you're struggling with your own stuff, and it's normal. That's what we do, we project. And so, whenever you're with me, I want you now to try to make an effort to see the positive through the words that I say. And maybe that will teach you to start to see the positive into your life, because sometimes, very often, one of the best way to upgrade our quality of life is to just change the way we look at it. It's to just focus on different things. So yeah. But again, thank you, Pumpkin Puff, and all everyone else to feel sorry for me because I'm tired. I appreciate. I understand where you're coming from. I'm just being a little bit cheeky here. Pumpkin Puff. Also, how do I work on fixing my procrastination? So it's a topic that I often talk about, and I can first and foremost redirect you to a video that I've created. If you go on my channel, in the video section, I'm going there. I've done a video about procrastination. Where is it? 3 months ago, and it's called Beat Procrastination in 7 Minutes. Check it out. It's a 7 minutes video, as it says on the title, and it's about understanding procrastination from a different perspective. So check this video if you have a chance, and let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. But to resume this, procrastination is not a problem. Again, it's a system that exists to protect us from something. So we want to find out, what is it protecting us from? So that we realize that, it's trying to keep me safe from that thing. But then I can ask myself, is this really a thing? Do I need to worry about that? And when we realize that we don't, then the procrastination just vanishes. So if you want, we can talk about it more, but you have to tell me how your procrastination is expressing itself in your life. How does it look like? We can talk about it specifically if you give me more details about you. If not, check that video. Senko, how to deal with addiction. I keep binge gaming or binge scrolling, and whenever I try to tell myself you're going to doom yourself tomorrow, if you keep bringing my other parts replies, now let's have some good time, and then I wake up tomorrow late hating myself for doing it. Okay, let's talk about this. So addiction is one of my specialism, and it's a big topic. Um, we're all vastly different, so there could be millions of reasons as to why you are like that and how we can address this. But generally speaking, and based on what you say, we want to realize that the addiction, again, is not a problem. It's a system that you have created because you needed that system. And so you want to find out, why do I need an addiction in the first place? And so very often the analogy that I use is that addiction is a situation where there's a smoke and a fire. The smoke is the addiction, is the system that we use to feel better about ourselves. The fire is the reason as to why we need that system. And so the fire would be anxiety, overwhelm, depression, overthinking, shame, guilt, any of those things. They are the reasons why we need an addiction. And so we'll find out, what is it with you? Why do you have addiction in your life? What is the addiction trying to protect you from? What is it trying to make you feel better about? Um, Gaming, scrolling, those things are not bad inherently. They're just things that we do. If we suffer from them, it's because we have a propensity to be addicted. And so I don't know you, but just based on what you say, something that I can say that may benefit a lot of you is to understand that if we don't have happiness in our lives, if we don't have a sense of purpose and a direction, we will be more easily prone to addictions. In that sense, addiction can be a distraction from a life that we hate. And so if you've been conditioned to believe that your passions are not available to you, you must do that job because this is what you must do in society. You must be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or something like that. You cannot be an artist. You cannot be an explorer. You cannot be whatever that you want to be. You get to do this. So it's just an example. Then now we are depressed, we're unhappy, we're not living the life that we should be living. And so now we need the distractions to escape from that reality that we hate, that we created for ourselves. So that would be one of the reasons, one of the myriads of reasons as to why so many of us are struggling with things like doom scrolling or binge gaming. Um, Now, when it comes to gaming, also there's an element that comes to mind. Do you believe that you could be on the spectrum of some neurodivergence? Because there's that as well. So there's a lot of different elements. It's about understanding yourself and understanding the bigger picture. But just based on what you said, I would say first find out, if you don't already, whether or not you may have some be on the spectrum of some neurodivergence, and also find out whether or not you are depressed or anxious. Are you happy with your life? Are you doing things that you enjoy? Are you waking up every morning thinking, "Ah, I love life. I love what I do. I love the people in my life. I love where I live. I want to get." Do you have this? If not, then that will explain why we drink alcohol, we watch PRN, we gamble, we shop too much to not feel what we feel about ourselves, to not experience that reality that we have created for ourselves. Um, does it make sense, Sanko? Do you want to tell me more? And when you say my other parts reply, it's very good. It means that you have an insight of you having many parts. So that's a good starting point. You have some level of self-awareness. And we can explore this in more depth together if you want. Camilla, thanks, Didi. Thank you, Camilla. Genji, do you think it's possible for someone to change if they don't understand they have baggage? So, in the moment, if they don't understand in that moment that they have baggage, in that moment they cannot change. But then life is made of moments, and so there are other moments. So there may be other moments where they realize that there's something about them that is not normal. So that may trigger a train of thought that will get them to go in a journey of healing. That's it. But in the moment, it's true that we are limited by our mental and emotional capacities. And so, if we don't know that we have that we have some baggage, if we are in denial, if we have a system of shame and repression that prevents us from feeling certain feelings or to think certain thoughts, if our ego is trying to protect us from criticism, including self-criticism, then we won't be able to change. A lot of people are unable to change because they can't accept that there's something wrong about them. Not because they're bad, no one is fundamentally, but because they're scared, because they don't know, they wouldn't know how to deal with that. They've never been taught. This is why the conversation about mental and emotional health is so important. We can't change something if we don't know that there's something we have to change. I can't address an illness if I don't know that I'm ill. Good. Or something with Billie Jean. I'm sure you can come up with something. Yeah. Pumpkin Puff, about MJ, I'm also really happy that everyone is noticing now that he truly was a lovely human who just never got to be a kid. I feel sad, though, thinking about how cruel the world was to him, though. Yes, so this is why we have so much love for him, because he is reminding us of all the injustice that we've been through, because society judged us for our neurodivergence. So in that sense, he's like a modern day Jesus to people who are neurodivergent. Pumpkin Puff at Rachel Gannon, I love that. Jiki, thanks for the stream. Thank you, Jiki. Of course, keep coming, keep connecting, keep talking about this. Hopefully, we will make some discoveries that will help you with your recovery, with your healing journey. 15 Bernards, good broadcast. Thank you. Crystal Clear said hi. Hello. Dawn. Hi, Didi. Hello, Dawn. Pumpkin Puff. Okay, I will not say sorry that you are tired, but I will still wish you a restful sleep later. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate. Dawn, I have not been well at all. I'm sorry to hear. Do you want to talk about this? Jen Stevens. I fixed my procrastination by procrastinating. Lol. So one of the best way to fix the procrastination is to do this indeed. But it's not, you don't create procrastination. You accept that you are choosing to do nothing. That's one of the best things to do. If you're overwhelmed, if you don't know where to get started, and in regards to your procrastination, accept. Today, I'm going to have a mental health day. I need this. I need to recover. I need to chill. I need to spend hours staring at the ceiling, looking at the clouds in the sky, daydreaming. This is what I need. This is what I want. I'm going to invest my energy and my time doing this so that at least you don't create shame and tension in your body. Sometimes there's nothing else we can do. I can teach you a lot if I know you better. There's a lot of things we can do. But if not, at least we want to minimize the damage. The more shame, the more guilt, the more FOMO you get to create for yourself, the worse you're going to feel, and the more procrastination will get inflamed. Um, we want to realize that we do a lot of things to ourselves. So when we procrastinate, it gets worse because we think about it. What's wrong with me? I should be productive. I should be doing all of those things. I should be hustling. I should be an entrepreneur or whatever that I want to become. And the more we go, I should be, I have to, I must, the more we're creating pressure, tension. And the more the mind is going to think, it's too much. Procrastination, please come and help us. Let's shut it all down. This is why you procrastinate. Too much pressure, too much tension, too much have to, too much must. Instead, tell yourself, you know what? Fuck it. It's okay. I'm here to chill. I'm going to go outside and look at butterflies and squirrels, and it's going to be amazing. And then, just like that, suddenly, after a while, a few minutes, you get better, maybe an hour. And then you may be able to do something because you have let go of the tension. You have let go of the shame, the pressure. But again, it's a big conversation and it's different for all of us. So I can talk about this, but I would need more details to be generally helpful to you at an individual level. If not, check out my video about procrastination on my channel. It's called Beat Procrastination in 7 Minutes. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, good. You have a video already. I will watch that after. Yes. Pumpkin Puff. I just keep thinking I need to fold the laundry. And then I try, end up distracted, and then don't end up doing it. So again, so also it depends on your conditions. If you have ADHD or CPTSD, again, that will make a difference. This is where it's even more important not to create tension and pressure. And this is where it's important to accept that some of us, sometimes, it's not that important. I don't have to necessarily do it. For some of us, we really struggle finding dopamine to do anything at all. And so if it's not a matter of life and death, maybe it's not such a big deal. You know? And I'm saying this because I have a pile of laundry next to my bed that is accumulating. And at some point, I spend an hour putting it all back. But it's about prioritizing. We don't have to do everything. Again, because of my ADHD, I know that some things are important. So I will find ways to make those things happen. But I don't want to utilize all my mental focus battery to things that are not really that important. As far as I'm concerned, they're not my priority. For me, delving into my own thoughts, looking after my clients, and coming here doing the live streams and talking to you is far more important than folding my socks, my underwear, and my t-shirts. Sanka, the thing I know about myself is that half of what causes my addiction is anxiety and mental pressure. The other half is random, happens when my brain gets hijacked, feeling so much arousal that I don't want to leave what I have in my hand. Okay, so you have an understanding of some of the reasons as to why you need an addiction. So that's a good start. So you say half of it is anxiety and mental pressure, and the other half is random. So when you say random, what I see is that it's random in the sense that you are not aware of what it is. But in reality, it's never random. There's always some subconscious hint, cues, triggers that are getting those reactions to happen. So it's about learning about yourself, finding out what are those subconscious triggers that get you to feel like that and to think like that in those moments so that you need to use addiction to feel better about yourself. Nothing is random if we understand, but it's all very often indeed subconscious. So we're not having a conscious awareness of those things. If you suffer from addiction, we can talk about this, but the best thing to do is to really seek professional help because it's a big topic, it's very specific. If you wanted, we could organize a discovery call. This is what I do for a living. But if you're already doing something about it, continue doing what you're doing and continue coming in and asking me questions. But I'm just saying that I may not be able, within the capacity of the live stream, to fix your addiction just like that. What we can do is to understand more about it so that it helps you in your healing journey. Okay. Yeah. Genshi, is there a correlation between being neurodivergent and playing video games? Yes, yes. Dopamine. It's a very easy thing for people who are neurodivergent to get engrossed and to have all those mental stimulations that we need. That's why I keep away from them, because I know that if I get started, my life will fall apart because I will enjoy it too much. And it's not just video games. I found out yesterday that things like horror movies, for instance, for many of us, can be very, very stimulating. And so people who have autism, there are two categories. Those who can't do horror movies because it's too much on their senses, and those who love them because they get all the stimulation that they need in a safe environment. They can get the hyperfocus, they can get the scare jumps, they can predict the outcomes of the movie. I think there's also a strong correlation often between autism/ADHD and horror movies. Senko. And about if I feel my life is good or not, it's variable. Some days I feel so good, and the other days I feel miserable to the point of wishing it just ends. Yes. So we go through different moments. We fluctuate in states. And so some days you feel good, some days you don't feel so good. But although it's true that we will all experience the full spectrum of emotional state, what matters is the intensity, the duration, the volume, and the frequency of those events. If you say, I feel miserable to the point I wish it just ends, it's quite harsh. It is not normal. It's too intense. If you're obsessed with that, if you go through a stage where you are really overwhelmed and depressed, it's not the same as feeling low every now and then. We all feel low every now and then. We all feel anxious, worried every now and then. We all have some doubt, some overthinking every now and then. We all have some anger, some resentment every now and then. Difference between whether it's a problem or not is how much, how often, how bad is it affecting our lives. This is what makes it a problem or not. And if you say, my life is good sometimes, and sometimes it's not, when it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, how bad is it? How long does it last? How often does it happen? And so in that sense, now zooming out, I believe that you do have some baggage that you want to address in therapy. Jen Stevens, I work so much better under pressure. So some of us do because of the ADHD, but that's only if we believe that that thing is a matter of life and death, or if it's something that we love. Right? For the vast majority of us, if it's neither of those things, pressure will make it harder on everyone. So again, nothing is ever just this or that. It's about understanding where do we fit, why. And so I understand that I have ADHD and I can work very well under pressure, but only if either it's a matter of life or death, or if it's something that I love. It's about creating associations that get us to channel our ability to hyperfocus. The ability to work under pressure is hyperfocus. But if you hate something and if you don't believe that it's important, under pressure, you will not be able to do this. No one will. Pumpkin Puff. CPTSD affects procrastination? Question mark. Yes, yes, absolutely. CPTSD changes the structure of our brain so that we are constantly feeling unsafe and our nervous system is constantly scanning our environment, trying to find out if there's a danger everywhere. So that basically prevents us to focus on one thing. It's very similar to ADHD. CPTSD and ADHD, they do the same. It prevents us to focus on something that is not, again, important, or something that we like. Um, because our brain is too busy constantly scanning around, making sure that we are safe. Menno Rabbit, a wonderful stream. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'm a bit tired again today, so I was not sure I was going to be able to do this, but I'm glad that I'm coming across clearly to some of you. Genji, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Both my husband and I play video games often. I just thought it was winding down time to relax. No, it's about finding a place where you're stimulated and safe. And if you do it with your husband, it's even better because you're doing something that we call parallel play. So very often in neurodivergent couple, what neurotypical people don't realize is that the best thing for us is to just be with someone that we trust and care, and we don't need to do anything special. We don't need to go bungee jumping or go on some adventure or whatever. Just sharing a space with someone, even if you're not necessarily doing the same thing, is safe, is good. We can be ourselves, we can express ourselves, we can steam, we can do silly faces, we can do anything. We're just being ourselves, and that's the best thing for people who are in neurodivergent couples. But very often society uh, try to guilt trip us. Oh, it's boring. You're losing your passion. You should be going out doing this, having a social life, and it's not for everyone. Um, and so yes, a lot of no divergent couple would play video games together for hours on end, and it's okay. Pumpkin Puff. So is my CPTSD/PTSD the reason I struggle to just do basic things I need to do? Potentially. Well, nothing is ever just one thing, remember. But if you have CPTSD or PTSD or both, then yes, absolutely. Any type of trauma, if it's labeled as a trauma, if it's bad enough to be a label, will be debilitating to our functioning in life. So absolutely. Um, yes, very much so. It's not that you're stupid, it's that your brain has developed in a survival mode and it still believes that it is in a state of danger. So it can't grow. You say struggling to do the basic things that you need to do. Um, those things are not important as far as your brain is concerned. What your brain wants is to be safe. This is why minimizing your exposure to stress and pressure should be your priority. You can do this in many ways through lifestyle, but also by addressing your environment and therapy. Three things. First, last, nothing better than to have a partner you are in sync with. Yes, nothing to prove, nothing to justify, nothing to explain, just being there, right? And this is a thing that a lot of people don't get. They don't understand that notion. They believe that quality is doing exciting stuff together and putting it on Instagram and showing everyone how wonderful their life is. But if neurodivergent couples really share their life on Instagram, it will be a very different show. It will be, yes, television, some junk food, feet on the table, dogs and cats if we have pets, and that's it. That beats any adventure in the world as far as we are concerned. Genji, yes, I was told I was turning into a hermit. Let them say whatever they want. I mean, it's not all black or white. You do want to go out and socialize, but it's about understanding that we go through phases and we're all different. And so, if we can understand the bigger picture and try to find a system that creates some sort of balance for us, then we're good to go. White Knight Media UK, Master Khan. Don't call me Master Khan, please. Call me Diddy Khan. Uh, Master Khan sounds very weird. Just one second, please. My watch is telling me that it's time for me to post my third TikTok post of the day. So I'm going to do it just now. Just bear with me, please. Um, I'm going to have a sip of coffee as well. Okay, let's get back to where we were. Master Can. Diddy Can, please, one night. I'm 45 years old man. I am single, 3 grown children, fit, no medical issues, no debts. I want to find my person. What are the steps that will grant me purpose? So you're talking about two different things. You're talking about finding your person and then your purpose. But two different conversations. Let me try to understand how and why you will have put those two things in the same sentence. I want to find my person. What are the steps that will grant me purpose? I don't understand. I'm going to talk about both things, right? If you want to find your person, you don't find it. You allow yourself to find it. People are everywhere, but the more you pursue something, the more you seek something, the more that thing is going to be elusive, because you are squeezing your mind and you have a precise idea of what you want. But in reality, we come in all sizes and shapes, and there are people everywhere all the time. And you may miss out on all those people who are potentially amazing partners for you. But if you're seeking someone, you have an idea, you have an expectation, you have a projection, and that is going to minimize your ability to see the whole spectrum of people that are there for you. So first thing, stop seeking. Just allow yourself to enjoy yourself, be yourself, and then take the measures that we do to meet people. Go in places where people are and start to talk to people. Uh, just be yourself, give people a chance, follow your intuition. If it's difficult because you may be in a small town, maybe use the internet. If you see there's any clubs, any groups of people who share the same interest as you, and then start to go out, meet people, but don't expect anything um, from the situation. You say you have kids, so you've been in a long relationship before. Think about exploring your own journey as a human being and see who's going to come along. Don't expect someone, don't do things because I want a partner, I want someone special. Just go out because you want to explore your life and meet people and see what happens. And as you do that, because it's open, you will give yourself more chance to see and connect with those people. And in regards to your purpose, I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you're telling me that you have everything good but you don't have a sense of purpose, it will be the same thing. Allow yourself to discover your human experience at this point in time. You don't need to have a definition of who you are or a label. We are literally in this life to find out what our life is about. And so it means that we're also trying to find out who we are because we are changing each moment. All of our life, we will change and evolve and expand. That's the whole point of life. And so be curious, be open minded, and don't have expectation or projection. Do your best to be present and enjoy whatever is happening now as an experience and see where each moment leads you one moment at a time. So I don't know if it's clear. Let me know, please. I'm happy to explain it from a different angle if it was not clear enough. Just ask me. First last, fellow hermit here after being widowed. Okay. But are you happy? Sometime we're happy, and sometime it's time to change as well. So are you happy to be on your own still? Or do you believe that maybe it's time for you to reconnect with civilization in some capacity? Genji, I will note it's very fun to play a game where I get to fight my husband with love, of course, but we are both very competitive and it's all in fun. Okay, fantastic. So you have found a love language. Maybe that's one of the way you connect with him, with one another. It's a great thing to do. You're doing something that you are both enjoying together. Uni Vegasus, I love your vocal prosody. All right, thank you. I like the word prosody, but I forgot what it means. I have a vague idea, so I'm going to type it now. Prosody refers to the rhythm, stress, and intonation of speech. Okay, thank you. I like this as well. Acting as the music of language that conveys meaning beyond literal words. Oh, nice. It includes elements like pitch, loudness, and tempo, which communicate emotions, attitude, and grammatical structure, such as distinguishing between a question and a statement. Okay, very good. Thank you. appreciate that you appreciate this. I'm working on this a lot. I mean, it's not something that came to me naturally. Again, because of my conditions, I used to be frantic and hectic. Um, I don't think there's any videos like that anymore because Facebook has changed everything. But back in 2017, I did a lot of live streams on Facebook. And whenever I was replaying them, it was super cringy because I was all over the place. I was super fast. I would say things that wouldn't make sense. I would say the wrong things, like literally the wrong words. I wouldn't be able to pronounce them. And it took me many years of doing what I'm doing now to learn how to hear myself and how to communicate better. And that has, of course, helped me a lot as a therapist. I'm able now. It's all a natural process, but it's something that I had to work on. I had to be aware of my pronunciation of things, of my elocution, of my tempo, uh, of the vocal, of the vocal melody. Um, uh, because in the past I would be either too fast, too frantic, or I would be talking like a robot. Because I would be just sharing words, but I would be worried about how I come across. I'd be thinking about other things, and that would prevent me from being totally engaged in my thoughts and my articulation and sharing of those thoughts. So I've become better at thinking and at speaking um, and at channeling those thoughts. I've always been able to channel some thoughts through what I do as a therapist. But as a content creator and as someone who does live stream, that has a whole different game. It's very different. When I'm one to one with people, I can be myself. But it took me basically a few years to let go of the worry of how do I come across like. Now, genuinely, I'm at peace with that. I'm able to just be myself. But it's a journey. For many of us, if we suffer from social anxiety, if we are neurodivergent, if we don't know who we are because of all of those things and more, then it's going to be a real long work. So I'm glad that you appreciate my prosody. Thank you. Let me see. Uh, oops. For some reason, oh, the volume doesn't work here. Gosh, that's weird. Just 1 second, please. I just want to check something. Yes, the volume doesn't work on my iPad today. One of those mysteries. Anyway, let's come back to where we were. Pumpkin puff. I guess I need to figure out which part I need to work on. The mess bothers me, but it feels like I have to lock myself in there to do it. So it's about creating some associations and creating a system. What matters? What is important to you? What can you do? What must you prioritize? And then get yourself into a state where you're able to do those things that are your priority. You won't be able to do everything, but you can do some things. And so, for instance, I've created this for myself. I don't do much cleaning in our house. My husband is very good at that. He's he's autistic, so everything has got to be spotless. Him and his sister as well. Um, whenever we go to his sister, let's say if I have a cup of tea, I may be having a cup of tea and I put it and I turn around because I'm having a chat in the kitchen, and then I just get back. The cup is clean already. It's hanging down. It's drying. What happened? Because she's so. And my husband is like that as well. And me, because I've got ADHD, I'm very, very messy. However, I've decided a long while ago that I had to contribute in some ways. And so I've decided that I was in charge with washing the dishes, doing the bins, and doing the recycling. These are the three things that I do. It's literally all that I do. But I've created the association. It's important for me every day to do it so that I can bring something into our looking after our home so that my husband doesn't feel that I'm exploiting his nature. But also because I want to do something. I want to be doing something with the house. And so I've created the associations, and it took me some time, but now every day I do the dishes, I do the bin, I do the recycling. It's a ritual. I've created an association. It's fun. I love it. It's something that I love to do. I do this for me. I do it for him to make him happy. I do it for us because we share that space. And so you want to create an association and also know that you have some limitations if you have some conditions like me. Genji, did you post your video? You're asking me about on TikTok? Yes, I did. If that's what you're talking about, yes.
Don't moan.
The video, the sound is back. So what I want to check is
Prosody.
I want to find out how it sounds.
Prosody.
Prosody. It's not prosody. It's prosody.
Prosody.
Thank you. Very good word. I will remember this. Prosody. Dawn. Yep, you are right, Pumpkin, about Michael Jackson with you on that. So unfairly treated and the Pepsi accident. Yes. Yeah. So many things about Michael Jackson. First, last, for White Night, you can try Meetup for finding people. Socrates Cafe is good if you enjoy philosophy. Fantastic. Thank you for the suggestion, First Lady. So yes, so online there's a lot of ways we can meet people. Yes. Right on. Thank you. White Night. Thank you, Didi Khan. Bless you. Thank you so much. White Night. Dawn Woodland. And his dad called him ugly and beat him. He was not ugly. Yeah. Talking about MJ. Dawn. Didi Cross. Genji. Yes, I was just checking. Pumpkin Puff. Okay, thank you. Pumpkin Puff. Funny that you said that because I once cleaned a mug my husband was using and I turned around like, where did that mug go? Did I leave it in the other room? Yes, so there's a discrepancy in priority and sense of urgency with certain things. So just be aware of who you are and who your husband are and how you can together create a system that works both for both of you. Ever since I've created that system, my husband can see that I'm doing an effort, and that's enough. More often than not, in a couple, people don't really want to see the results. They want to see the effort. They want to see that you did listen to what was said. You do care about. They do care about our feelings, and that's enough. Um, Everything else is just. It's not really a problem with the dishes. I'm not done if the socks are not folded. Those are just little things. Um, Pumpkin Puff, I just want to not lose the remote once. We lose it all the time. It happens like every single day. We're looking for it. We sit on it. We switch off the TV. We switch channel, or we are in the middle of a horror movie. There's something happening, and then boom, it disappears. And then we are putting the light on. We move on all the cushions to try to find out where it is. And after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we find it. And it's always in the same spot anyway. It's normal. So we try our best. We try to choose a spot to put it on. But then again, we have a little kind of, it's not a coffee table, something where we put off it on. But because we put off it on that and there are crisps and peanuts or whatnot, then things move. And at some point, we do lose the remote anyway. So there you go. I think at some point they will create a system where we don't need a remote anymore. Just maybe a device that gets us to talk to the television like Alexa's, and maybe show us as we talk whichever channel we want to play. Sanko, hey, I just got back and listened to the replies about my comment about how much does it last when I feel good or bad. It's just every 2 to 3 days. Although the bad days occasionally stay longer, sometimes for 2 weeks. Okay. So I lost the plot of that conversation. Could you remind me what it was about, please? Because my brain finds it difficult to hold on to trains of thought. And so if you can remind me about, give me a big line. What is your problem? And I'll bear in mind what you just said. Sometimes you feel bad 2 or 3 days. I think we're talking about addiction. Are you the one who's struggling with addiction? Just 1 second, please. And we're talking about how you felt and the reason as to why you need addiction. So if you say that, that kind of corroborate with what I was saying anyway. We want to find out how you can create a happier, more peaceful, safer life for you, so that you don't need the addiction to help you navigating through it. Pumpkin puff. Exactly. It's in the couch or other room, or a dog sometimes lays on it. It will change the channels, yes. We don't have dogs anymore, but it's true that in the past, our dogs were often involved into the the mysteries of the desperation of the remote control. It was about addiction from Sanko. Yes, yes, I remember. Yeah, yeah. So yes, yes. So basically, you are confirming what we talked about. If you suffer from addiction, you want to address the cause of the addiction, not just the addiction itself. The addiction is a problem, but if you don't address the root cause of it, then you may fix the addiction, but you will still need an addiction. And so you will develop other types of addiction. Some people are addicted to work and being productive. They don't stop. Some people are addicted to shopping. Some people are addicted to gossiping. Some people are addicted to drama. Some people are addicted to anything. Anything can be addictive. Some people are addicted to the gym. And so it's not about alcohol or drugs or gambling or PORN or those things. It's about everything. It's about why we need something, right? So I'm not sure if it was you who was talking about doom scrolling and video gaming, but it doesn't matter. Whatever addiction that it is, addiction have two purposes, either or both. One purpose is to make us feel better about ourselves because we don't like a feeling that is in our body, uh, or to distract us from a life that we hate. Um, I was watching someone's content on TikTok saying that very interesting guy, content creator, talking about the two types of dystopian writers, authors. So there are two books that people often refer to when they think about a dystopian future. And one is George Orwell, 1984, and the other one is Aldous Huxley, A Brave New World. And there's a difference between those two different dystopian futures. With George Orwell, it's all about fear, and it's about creating control out of fear, manipulate people because of the fear of others. But Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, his version of a dystopian future is distraction. The world creates a lot of distractions so that we are never here now. It keeps us uh, entertained, so we never really question our reality. And that's a different way to control people. And we can see this with the algorithm, with how the media, industrial media, are conditioning people with propaganda since it was created. But the way that I see it is that it's both. We are both being manipulated through fear and through distractions, so that we never really face a better reality than the one that they are giving us. And addiction works in such ways within the distraction bit. Dears, my sister's 17 years old son, neglected by his workaholic father, has begun exhibiting concerning behaviors, isolating in his room, talking to friends all night, and applying feminine makeup. Please help. So the feminine makeup, there's nothing wrong about it. Right? I am a very proud member of the LGBT community, and so any form of expression is okay. If you believe that putting feminine makeup for a guy is wrong, maybe we can talk about this because there's nothing wrong about it. Now, if you are telling me that he's starting to become depressed and having some behavior that are genuinely concerning, maybe he's self-harming or things like that, we can talk about this. The first thing that I will address is that it's your sister's 17 years old, so there's not much thing you can do about it. As far as the law is concerned, she's in charge of him, and he's still underage. What you can do, however, is to be the good. Are you an uncle or an auntie? I'm going to assume that you are a man. So, but if I'm wrong, correct me. You can be the nice uncle that he can speak to. That's one thing we can do. You can't change him, but you can be there for him. You can listen to him. And the first thing that you want to do is to really address this. Out of all the things that you talk about, the one that stands out to me is the applying feminine makeup. There's nothing wrong about it. Absolutely nothing wrong about it. But if you think that is wrong, and if your nephew feels that, he's going to feel that you are judging him, and he won't be coming to you for help. And he will feel even more isolated and lonely and having to deal with whatever is got to deal with. Right? So, do you want to explore that conversation deeper with me, knowing what I just said? Senko. Thanks, Didi. Thank you, Senko. Genshi, can anything be considered an addiction? What defines addiction? What defines addiction is not the thing, it's our attitude to it. Anything can be an addiction. We literally get addicted to our internal biochemistry. We get addicted to what we consider familiar and normal. So that's why our very system, we always come back to what is our normality. And so everything is addictive. However, what defines it is our inability to change it, even though we tried to change it. So if you are aware that you like something, it's not necessarily an addiction. But if you are aware that you're doing too much of it and you want to change it, and you try to change it and it's not happening, then it is an addiction. That's it. You can be addicted to cupcakes. You can be addicted to anything at all. If it's something that you want to stop and you can't stop, that's it. But so this is not within. So it depends the definition that you have of addiction. I'm coming from a useful place, so that's why I say it like that. Some people will say this is not what we call an addiction in the strict sense of term. It's not like an alcohol or drug addiction, and no, it's not. But it's not really helpful. If you can see yourself as being addicted to something, because if you understand that what I just said, then that is something that can help you change. B.R. Brandano. His deal is addiction. He's doing subliminal. This guy would cut me like a fish. What are we talking about? So, hello. I'm just seeing your first message here, and I'm not sure what you are referring to, Brandano. His deal is addiction. He's doing subliminal. This guy, who are we talking about? Who is this guy? Would cut me like a fish. I don't understand. Could you clarify this for me, please? Could you contextualize this for me? Sanko at Genji. I believe it's when you suffer from it. I used to be addicted to watching horror game on YouTube. Brandano, I'm gone. Brandano, please block me forever. Are you having an episode? If you are overwhelmed, I'm here. And knowing this is okay because it means that I can deal with you with that in mind, right? Please block me forever. I'm a sociopath because I believe in Constitution in a moment when they're illegally changing it. I don't understand this. There's a smiley face emoji, so maybe it's not that serious. Are you trolling me? Because I believe in Constitution in a moment when they are illegally changing it. What are we talking about? You're talking about politics? Are you paranoid? Are you obsessed with certain things? Brandano, I'm sure the dynamics between people and government don't take on that same dimension in any country on earth. You know what? I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I have an inkling of what it could be. And it's true But there are a lot of things happening in the government and around us in society that are bad and that are detrimental to mental health. This is true. I agree with that. Now, I'm not sure if you would agree on every single point that you have in mind because I don't know what they are. But it's true that there's a truth about this. And many of us are suffering from that awareness as well. Adil, I understand your perspective, but his isolation and lack of family time suggests stress is the core issue. Unfortunately, he refuses to engage in simple solutions like walking with his mother. If he refuses, it's not because he's not wanting to. It is because he doesn't feel safe doing it. We tend to believe that people do things out of their own willpower. He's choosing not to do this. He's lazy. He's not trying hard enough. No. Whatever we do or whatever we don't do is limited by our subconscious state, our emotional state. And so if we don't feel safe, if we don't feel that it's a good idea, if we've been repressing ourselves for many years, it's not something that we can do. And it's not because they are refusing. It is because they are unable. And so if that kid is going through a lot, the best thing that you can do as an uncle is to be the nice, kind, cool, and non-judgmental uncle. Maybe his mum, maybe other people in his family are putting a lot of pressure on himself. Maybe he wants to come out, and maybe the belief of the communities that you live in are against that. So he's finding it difficult. It could be other things. It could be many things. Right? But just based on that comment about the feminine makeup and the way that you presented it, it tells me that maybe that could be that. Maybe he just wants to be himself and is depressed because no one is giving him a chance to express himself the way he really wants to be. And if you want to help him, the only thing that you can do at this point in time is to be the nice, non-judgmental, accepting, tolerant, loving uncle. If you can be that, then he will trust you. He will listen to you. He will speak to you all the time. And then now you're giving him a chance to not be so isolated and maybe help him with his mental health. Does this help? First last, if it helps, Adil, men applying makeup and doing videos has been trendy for a while. I watch videos from Cameron Chase and he's really fun. It doesn't have to be concerning. Why would it be concerning anyway? Yeah. Brandano, sorry, my PO's state and local government cutting my signal like this is Brazil. Okay, it's all right, it's all right. I wish you the best, and I understand that it is true that there are a lot of wrongdoing in the world at a societal, at a governmental level. But what matters is what we can do. So what do you have power over? What can you focus on to feel better about yourself? Or is there even something that you can do to fight those things? Genji, everyone should get to be themselves and not judged for it. Absolutely. Brandano, did you all hear that what I typed early? When you see me, you respect us and remember we're not on equal ground and we are targeted. If any EU nations hosted me, I would obey, but USA, not typical dynamic. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. You're talking about politics, and I'm not going to go that way. Okay. I'm here to talk about how you feel about the world. So we can talk about psychology, we can talk about emotions, we can talk about thoughts, but I will not talk about politics because I don't know what you have in mind, and this is a whole different vibe, right? It's not necessarily something that I know much about. I have my opinions like everyone, but again, my purpose through my channel is to help people understand themselves in this world better. Um, not necessarily having a specific conversation about who's right, who's wrong in the political world today. Okay? Adil, at first last. You are right, thank you. First last, you are welcome. Okay? I'm coming to the end of the stream. It's 1 minute to 8. I'm happy to take your last question if any of you wants to ask me anything. I'll have a sip of coffee. If not, I will go gently and resume my day and start to rest and have a, yeah, just rest. haven't been out today, and I know that in the UK it was very hot. It was 24 degrees. So maybe I go for a little stroll in the park and enjoy a nice first day of May evening. Adil, your wise words are greatly appreciated. All right, thank you. He can't spend a second without his phone or laptop. How to deal with it? Again, you don't want to judge him and say, what's wrong with you? Why you can't stop the phone? He's doing whatever he can based on his upbringing, based on his environment, based on his capacity, based on his priorities. What you can do is to talk to him, is to communicate with him, is to connect with him. Don't try to change him. Try to understand him instead. Sit down with him, and again, assume that you are the uncle. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to say what you are, otherwise you would have corrected me already. Be the cool uncle that is open-minded, but genuinely wants to find out about what is going on in his mind without judgment. Our job as a kind and empathic human being is not to change others, and it's not to make them happy or to fix their mood or regulate their mood. Our job as an empathic human being is to be a safe space for others to be themselves, so that we can explore, experience, share, and express their emotions without judgment. This is what we are about. So if you can do this, it's the best thing you can do for your nephew. You will be the uncle that he needs so much in his life, right? Find out why he's doing what he's doing instead of trying to finding out what's wrong with him. First, last, thank you for today, Didi. I needed this community. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Asi, thank you, Didi Khan. Thank you, Adil. Pumpkin Puff, thank you for your help, and I will watch your video. I hope you have a wonderful evening and weekend. Didi, thank you so much. Genji, thank you for this chat today. I hope you enjoy your walk if you decide to go for an evening walk. Till we talk again, my friend. Adis, God bless you and all. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. So just so you know, if there's anything that you resonated with today on this live stream, all my live streams are to be found the following day on my channel if you want to replay it. Right? Again, it takes about a day or so for YouTube to fully upload my live streams, but they always end up on my channel. So if you find it interesting, if there's something that I said that was important to you, know that from tomorrow you will be able to find that on my live section and just replay it. Also, I am on YouTube and TikTok. I post short videos. I haven't done any long videos for a while now because I've been too busy, but I will resume them at some point. If you have anything that you want to talk about, or if you want me to create videos about anything, do give me suggestions, and I will either put a note for my future videos or even talk about those things on my next live streams. And finally, I come live on YouTube every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 o'clock, and if it's busy, up till 8 o'clock UK time, PM. Okay? And finally, if you need any details about me as a therapist and coach, there should be a link on my bio to my website. Okay, let's read the last comment. Chris Hilton, thank you as always, Didi. Thank you so much, Chris. First, last, a lot of pink hands emojis. GEP Nutritionist, thank you, Didi. Thank you, Nutritionist, Nutrition UK. And always a blessing to hear your chat. Thank you so much. I'm glad you appreciate it. Guys, I love you all. Look after yourself and remember to be kind to others if you can. But if you can't, at least be kind to yourself. It starts with self. See you next